So this video, I want to talk about having hydraulics for 2 years. It's been a while since I made a video on my YouTube channel. It's been a while since I've worked on my Lowrider. But a little background about my little story in my Lowrider is I've always wanted, not since I was a little kid, it was brought to my attention when I was like 22 years old, 21, 22, early 20s, that I wanted a Lowrider. A buddy, a good friend of mine named Eric, got me onto it. I liked cars. I had a Miata. I liked everything about Lowriders, and I've always, I can't say I've always wanted one, because I've changed in my life, and I really wanted one in my early 20s, and I finally got one when I was like 26, 27 years old, I think, in like 2000 and what was it, 2020. I didn't get a Lowrider. I had to build it. There's two ways of going about it. I could have saved up a lot of money, bought one built that was already built, somebody did all the work, or I could buy a project car and build it and learn how to do it myself. And then that's the harder route. So I picked the harder route, and I end up finding a 62 Impala 4-door hardtop, no post, under a carport in Austin, Texas. I'm a delivery driver, so I'm always looking, right? I'm looking, and I saw it, and I wrote a note on it, and I said I got $3,000 saved up. I can save up $500 each month. It's my dream to own a classic car and turn it into a Lowrider. And then they hit me up. They said that weekend, they said $3,500 and it's yours. So that's how I got my Impala, and I worked on it for like 2 years. Engine, seats, music, rims, and after that I finally had enough money to save up for hydraulics, and I got front hydraulics. I don't have the back yet, I have the front, and so I can go up, down, side to side, and I can hop. I can bounce it off the ground if I want to. Facebook reminded me that I've had hydraulics for 2 years. It's been 2 years. It showed me a video when I was playing with my switches, right? And I set my camera down, and I was making my car dance. And 2 years ago, I was like, damn, that's 2 years ago already. So this video is about me having hydraulics for 2 years. And I want to say I've had a Lowrider for 2 years. I don't think, and I wouldn't call myself a real Lowrider until I had hydraulics. I was just an enthusiast, classic car enthusiast, and I drove low, and I liked, you know, the Lowrider style, but I wasn't a Lowrider yet until I hit the switch. That's me personally. And with Lowriders, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, and it's a lot of money. Let me say that 3 times. It's a lot of money, and it's a lot of patience. It's a lot of work. You can't be a poor guy. You have to be a hard worker. You have to have money. You have to have money for that shit. It gets expensive, and there's a lot of problems. And I've had a lot of fun with this car for the past 2 years, and I don't plan on selling it. I'll plan on keeping it, and I plan on still working on it, but I'm going to be going slow, not as fast paced as I have in the past 4 years. I'll be going slower now. But I've had a lot of fun this last 2 years, but I've also had a lot of problems, so many problems to where I plan on having the rear be airbags, in the front hydraulics. In the rear, having airbags, I can still go up and go down with hopefully less problems. And I made a video about that not the other day, but a while ago, about all the old timers, all the old guys. And these guys have a lot of wisdom, and these guys have a lot of experience, and they all told me to go with airbags, right? And me, I'd like making the car go down, go side to side. That's what a Lowrider is. And I'm not really a clown 3-wheel reinforcement frame type of guy yet. I need my own place so I can work on my frame and do my own, like, serious welding. But every time I take my car outside there's a potential problem. The other day, my welds on my control arm broke, so I had to drive home with my control arm broken, my upper control arm broken, and I had to come back home and re-weld it and reinforce it, make it better than where it was. And every time I take my car out, I'm running the risk of having to tow it back home. I'm running the risk of getting in a wreck. I'm running the risk of fucking up my car, right? And I acknowledge that, and it's a risk all of us lowriders take. And there's a lot of problems, man. One time I ran into a curb, popped my tire. That was it. One time I didn't run into a curb, and I was just cutting the corner and popped my tire. And there's a lot of other, I can't think of it on top of my head, but there's just a lot of problems. My car was leaking once. I had to keep a gallon of hydraulic fluid in the back just in case. One of my cylinders, O-rings busted. I had to replace those twice. On the front hydraulics, I had to replace it 2 times, and I realized that it's getting hot. It's close to the manifold, so I had to heat shield the cylinder. I had to put heat shield on the manifold. Every time, the first time I brought my car out, I went up and went down, and when I went up and down, it kind of pressed these wires. The way my wires were routed, it pressed my wires up to disconnect some of the wires in the ignition of my car, which shut off my car in the middle of traffic while they were having like graduation traffic, and I had to get out of my car and try to fucking figure this shit out in the middle of the street. There's a lot of problems when it comes to hydraulics, and every time, the good thing about that is every time I do have a problem, I have a choice of fixing it right or temporarily fixing it and having to learning that that's not the right way to do it. I gotta fix it now to where I don't ever have that problem again. And I had to go through 2 different sets of wheel bearings in my back axle, my back wheel, and I had to replace an axle. It's a lot of money. I need to buy bigger springs now because my springs in the front are cut too low to where my car hits the ground. I'm gonna have to get a full 3.5 ton full stock springs for the front, which is gonna cost me like $300, dude. I'm in the point of my life. I'm 32. I've had a lot of fun from like 28 to 32. I think I've had it for the last 2 years. Am I 32? About to be 33? I thought I was about to be 30. Nonetheless, I've had hydraulics while I'm young. I wanted it young, but having hydraulics is for it's for older motherfuckers, dude. It's for people that are just older. They have a lot of money and they have a career and a house, and dudes that have their life figured out and now they get to play. Me, I'm playing now while trying to figure out my life. I want to have fun while I'm young, right? But the older guys, they're doing it right because they have a lot of money and they can just buy this shit all fixed. Somebody could figure out all the problems and make the car last long. The lowrider, a legit lowrider. While me, I'm learning along the way. And anyways, guys, 2 years. It's been equal fun and equal heartache, headache. I still have my car. I'm still gonna keep it. I'm just gonna work on it slow. My priorities right now are I'm saving for a house. I'm saving to rent a house. I need a place to where I can work. I need a carport. Right now I work on my car in the apartment parking lot, and the people that the managers there, they're all cool with me, right? Everybody around there is cool with me. Weekends I work on my cars. I'm out there welding. I'm out there doing whatever I need to do. Nobody gives a fuck, but I need a place, man. I need a place, and I need to save up my money. And buying the lowrider, buying the rims, that's that couple grand, right? Buying the music, that's another grand. It piles up. And I heard older guys tell me when I first got the lowrider, they said that the hardest part was to find the car. The hardest part was just to get it. And now I got my hands on it. Now I'm working on it. Now I got like a little solid base, and I can work on it from there, from the rest of my life, hopefully. I got my priorities right now are to save up money, to have a lot of money, to have a big nest egg, and eventually buy a home, rent a home, upgrade from here. That's my priorities, and the lowrider takes a lot of my money, man. Every time I go out, I'm spending money, and I'm aware of that, and I know that, and it's not a shocker to me. I had to buy new batteries for my hydraulic batteries. It was like, what was it? I don't remember, $900, almost $1,000 for 3 Odyssey batteries. 3 Odyssey batteries, and those batteries are like $600 a piece. 369. I bought it for like $300. I bought 3 batteries. 369, $900. Anyways, guys, shit's expensive, man. And if you're a dude on a budget, I'm on a budget. I live by myself. I support myself. This is my secondary. This is actually my 3rd car. Just my daily driver / car to take me to work and save gas and just work on it here and there. But this is my backup car. If anything happens to my daily, I have a backup, and I can go to work and make money to spend on my lowrider. But it's expensive, and having hydraulics for 2 years, it's been fun. I've learned a lot, and I learned a lot about my car, and I learned that I need a place to really work on my shit the right way, and I need to save up, and I need to get I'm 32, right? I need to get my goal is to have a home like by the time I'm 35. My goal is to have like a good savings, a solid savings account. My goal is to have like investments that are paying me back, right? Those are my goals and my priorities. And I love my lowrider. Is I got the music, I got the hydraulics, I got a good setup, I got a good start. So I got a 62 Impala, man. But that's just where I'm at. And 2 years, it's fun, but it's also a headache. It's got its problems, and I can only compare it to dating a really hot chick, right? Really beautiful chick, head turner. Everyone's always looking at her. She's got all the curves. She's got the face. She is stunning. But that girl's got a lot of problems on the inside. That girl's got issues, right? That's the only way I can explain having a lowrider. And you can't depend on it. It's just for fun. You just take it out, you have your fun, you have a blast, and then that's it, right? That's all it is. And it's a lot of maintenance. I'm always checking the tire pressure on all my tires. I'm making sure there's no cracks in my frame. I'm making sure my exhaust is still there. I'm making sure that there's no leaks in any of the silk. The last time I had a leak was in the back. I had my front was going down, seeping down, and I'm like, what the fuck? There's no leak up front. There's a leak in the back. This shit is problems. I have a whole box of Harbor Freight O-rings in my trunk, plus a fucking 1.5 ton car jack in the trunk. It's fun, but there's problems. There's lots of issues. So that's just 2 years of being into it. I'm gonna continue working on it, but it's just gonna be at a slower pace. It's gonna be less money. I got shit that I need to figure out, career-wise, job-wise, dating, relationship-wise. I went through a couple relationships that ended it, in their own separate ways. But I almost was gonna rent a home with this girl. So that didn't work out. So it's just life is just throwing itself at me, and I'm just trying to take it. No homo. But I bought a motorcycle recently. That's because after a little heartbreak and a girl and I relationship ended, and I figured buying a motorcycle will help me keep my mind clear on things in a productive manner. That's the reason why I got my lowrider to begin with so soon, is because another relationship for me ended, and I needed something to focus on, and I was so obsessed and focused on these girls. I need to replace it with something that's productive and that'll help me instead of hurt me. And that's one of the reasons why I got my lowrider so soon, is because of that. And I started, every time I had issues, or anytime I felt bad, I would go out there and work on my car to make myself feel better, if that makes any sense. And I put in a lot of hours, painting the dash and putting carpet in and putting sound deadener all up in the, I did a lot of work to it. And at the end of the day, it goes to show, like, everything, when I drive in that car, when I turn the car on, from the starter to the gas tank to the carburetor to the brakes to the master cylinder, everything in that engine I touched with my hands, to the switches, right? To the radio, every wire, to the speakers, everything in that car, I put my hands on, to the axles, to the diff fluid, to the brakes. It's all me. It's all me. There's a sense of pride and a sense of, like, you're also scared. There's fear behind it, because I could lose this. I could lose it. I could lose my life. I could get in a wreck on the highway and die. The only thing I can compare to that is driving a motorcycle. It's like the same thing, but it's more low key, and I like it. And it lets me have that same dopamine, adrenaline feeling that I get in my lowrider, but without, and with the risk, but without the high keyness, without people looking at me, without it turning heads. It's more low key with the same feeling. So, long story short, lowrider, I've had it for 2 years. It's been fun, man, and I like the guy who I'm becoming, because if you own a lowrider, you are pretty much a mechanic. You are a mechanic. You know your car. You know everything about your car. You know a lot about old school cars. You have to. You can't leave your driveway and not know anything. You have to know how to take off your tire, how to put on your tire. The dude I'm becoming, like, I know how to weld now. I'm not the best welder, but I know how to weld. I know how to work on the engine. I know how to diagnose little problems here and there, brakes. All of this is teaching me this to work with my hands, and I like who I'm becoming. And it's teaching me patience. I want new springs, but I have to wait until I have enough money to get it. And it's making me a hard worker. It made me work extra hours. It's making me figure out ways to make more money so I can build the car of my dreams, so to speak. I like who I'm becoming, is what I'm saying. And there are a lot of problems, but I'll take them. All right, peace out.